Hello and good evening. Welcome to this Sunday evening. My name is John. Thank you for joining me on tonight's Sports Bonanza John here on YouTube. With you as well on Twitch tonight, Sport Guru John. Appreciate being here after my brief hiatus from this channel. It's been a little bit of a hectic work schedule, my full-time job here the last couple weeks, but back to it here. Going to be bringing you the Tigers and Rangers tonight. Finale of a three-game series there in Arlington. Tigers entered the All-Star break with the MLB's best record, but they are in quite a funk here as they have lost 6 straight coming into this game. Rangers looking for the 3-game sweep over the Tigers as we have resumed baseball following the All-Star break, which an All-Star game that ended very interestingly, which we'll talk about later on as the broadcast goes throughout tonight. Again, my name is John, Sports Bonanza John, my YouTube handle. If you like what I do here, appreciate a like and subscribe on that page. You would going to be bringing you various sporting events throughout the season. Once football season gets underway, this stream's going to really kick into play. College and NFL both. If you're new to this channel, I am one of these. I broadcast sports. I'm not affiliated with any particular team. I'm just going to jump around, cover as many teams as possible throughout the season. A little bit of this, and as I mentioned, once football season gets going, this stream is going to really come into play here, full stream here. Before we begin, on my page here, every night I always start evening with a prayer, so let's start with that. Lord Jesus, thank you for this day. Thank you for looking all over us. Look over these players tonight, Lord. Let's please keep everybody safe and have a great evening here on this night tonight, in Jesus' name. Amen. As I mentioned, the Tigers come in tonight on a season-high 6-game losing streak. They had entered the All-Star game with MLB's best record. They still are atop the AL Central. That lead is dwindling, though, with this losing streak they are on. Tigers have mentioned lost 6 in a row. They've lost the first 2 here in Arlington to the Rangers. Were swept at home by the Mariners just prior to the All-Star break, as they are on a season-high 6-game losing streak. Rangers come in looking for the 3-game sweep of the Tigers. They currently sit third in the American League West, have postseason aspirations themselves there in Arlington, as the Rangers look for the 3-game sweep as baseball gets back into full swing here following the All-Star break. Tigers are going to send their All-Star pitcher Tarik Skubal to the mound tonight, trying to snap this losing streak. The Rangers are going to counter with Jacob Latz, just his 3rd start of the season for Jacob Latz. As these two teams will get going, as the night goes on, give you an update of all the Major League Baseball scores going around and all the sports action going on. Of course, we had the Open Championship in golf over this past weekend. I'll talk about that with Scott Scheffler with that win. That's his 3rd different major he has won, so he will look for the career Grand Slam coming up, as Scott Scheffler won the Open by, I believe it ended up a 4-shot win over there in Northern Ireland in the Open over the weekend. And I'm going to run down some baseball scores as well. Big story before the All-Star break was the AL East leading Toronto Blue Jays. They are probably the biggest surprise so far at the All-Star break. And so we'll keep you updated on all those scores tonight. As we get set for the finale of this 3-game series, the Tigers and the Rangers. Mentioned Tarik Skubal getting the start for the Tigers tonight. Jacob Latz getting the start, not utilized a whole lot. As mentioned, just his 3rd start of the season for Texas. He will get the start on the mound for the Rangers tonight, as they look for the 3-game sweep of the American League Central leading Detroit Tigers. Numbers on Latz on the season as he takes the hill, 1-0 in just his 3rd start of the year, 22nd overall appearance. ERA right at 3 flat. He has walked 21 and struck out 48 in 48 innings. So again, has not been utilized a whole lot for the Rangers, and manager Bruce Bochy, his 3rd year as manager of Texas, of course, led the Texas Rangers to the World Series championship 2 years ago, back in 2023. Disappointing follow-up season in 2024 for Texas last year, but they find themselves right in the playoff mix this year, 3rd place currently in the American League West, but right in the picture in the wild card race. The Tigers will lead off with Jahmai Jones, he DHs tonight for Detroit. He will be the leadoff hitter for the Tigers, as they have been limited to 1 run in the first 2 games of this series against the Rangers, as they've been outscored 6-1 so far in the first 2 games of this series. Shut out Friday night 2-0. Rangers winning last night 4-1. As Jones will be the leadoff hitter here for the Detroit Tigers, hitting .261 on the season, 2 home runs. He has drove in 5, just his 28th game of the season. On a Sunday night in Arlington, good crowd on hand at Globe Life Field, and we are underway, and Jones takes high for ball 1. Jones DHing in the Tigers lineup tonight, hitting leadoff. And Jones fouls that one back, now 1-1. If you're new to this stream, I do need to tell you there is a delay on my feed between the live action. YouTube TV does have that built-in delay. I try to mention that before every game in case there are any new viewers. As Jones hits this one in the air, foul. Is it playable for the catcher? It is. As the catcher, Heim, makes the catch for the Rangers for the first out of the game. And it will bring up Gleyber Torres, number 2 hitter for Detroit, hitting .275. 9 home runs on the season. He's drove in 45. Gleyber Torres, the leading to Tigers in on-base percentage on the season. And Heim looks in and delivers to Torres. Ball 1. Here's the 1-0. Lined into left center field, and Torres is going to get that down for a base hit into left center field. So Gleyber Torres has himself a 1-out single for Detroit here in the first. And that will now bring up the number 3 hitter for the Tigers in Riley Greene. Riley Greene, team's leader in batting average, home runs, RBIs, and hits. Hitting 3rd in the lineup tonight, hitting .281 on the year. 25 home runs. He's drove in 79 on the season. And takes high here for ball 1. Greene hit 24 home runs all of last season, already with 25 this year as he swings through that one on the slider. And the count now 1-1. Latz looks in, and the 1-1 pitch to Riley Greene on the way. Up high, 2-1. Greene looks on, the lead at first. And here comes the 2-1. Swing and a miss. It's 2-2. Cleanup hitter Torkelson on deck for Detroit. And here comes the 2-2 pitch from Latz to Greene. Fouled away, and we'll do it again. That'll be a souvenir in the stands left side. Torres at first base with 1 out. Not a stolen base threat. He's only got 4 on the year as Greene fouls it off again. Good battle here between Latz and Torres. Or between Latz and Greene, rather. As Latz looks on, gets the signal, and is set to deliver another 2-2 pitch to Riley Green. Just underway in Arlington, game 3 of 3 between the Tigers and Rangers, as the Rangers look for the 3-game sweep tonight. Here comes the 2-2. And another foul ball. What a battle here between Green and Latz. It's be the 8th pitch of the at-bat coming up. Two-two again. Low, full count. Full count pitch on the way. Instead, a throw over to first base as Torres is back. 9th pitch of the at-bat to Green. And here comes the 3-2 payoff. Swing and a miss, and Latz ends up winning the battle as Green strikes out for out number 2. And that will bring up Spencer Torkelson, cleanup hitter for the Tigers. Struggling a little bit on batting average this year, just .235. He does have 21 home runs. He's drove in 59. And with Riley Green, even though he is the team's leading hitter in 4 different categories, that is also the 129th time this year he has struck out. As Torkelson takes low for ball 1. Here comes the 1-0 pitch. Just missed high, ball 2, 2-0. Two-0 pitch is fouled back. 2 balls and a strike now. The count to Spencer Torkelson. Torres at first base with 2 outs as he is there after the 1-out single. And here's the 2-1. Outside, now 3-1. Torkelson looks on, and the 3-1 pitch from Latz to Torkelson on the way. Torkelson in the air to left. Moving out towards left center field, and the catch is made by Duran to end the top of the first for Detroit. They get the 1-out single by Torres, but he's stranded right there, and we will see Tarik Skubal, the American League ERA leader and the starting pitcher for the American League, taking the hill for Detroit here in the bottom of the first inning as the Tigers empty in their half of the first. Looking at Skubal's numbers on the year, as mentioned, he's leading the American League in ERA at 2.23. This will be his 20th start of the season. 10-3. 153 strikeouts and just 16 walks in 121 innings. That is just a phenomenal ratio, almost 10-1 strikeout to walk ratio. Just phenomenal numbers for the Detroit starting pitcher. And the Rangers, who've been struggling on offense here recently, and even though they've won the first 2 games of the series against Detroit, they still haven't hit the ball exactly hard here. They're only scoring 6 runs in the 2 games, but they've gotten the pitching here. So the Rangers offense been kind of down a little bit here right before the All-Star break and here right after the All-Star break. as the Rangers will come up here in the bottom of the first inning. Wyatt Langford will be the leadoff batter for the Rangers in the bottom of the first. Between inning break here, let's run down some of the baseball scores from today. Mentioned earlier, the American League East leading Toronto Blue Jays. They win again today, 8-6 over the Giants up north of the border. Orioles a 5-3 win over Tampa. Angels win in Philadelphia 8-2. White Sox 7-2 over the Pirates. That's a 3-game sweep for the White Sox. That's their first sweep of the season. Yankees win in Atlanta 4-2 to win that series. Padres all over the Nationals 8-1. Mets avoid the sweep by the Reds today, winning there in New York, and we'll give you the rest of the scores here in between the first and second inning. So Wyatt Langford will lead off the bottom of the first for Texas, getting his chance here against Skubal. And the first pitch of the bottom of the first, Langford goes after the first pitch and sends it into center field. And the catch made in center field by Vierling, and 1 pitch, 1 out here at the bottom of the first for Texas. Brings up Corey Seager. Corey Seager at .265 on the season, 13 home runs. He's drove in 33. Seager goes after the first pitch and fouls it back for strike 1. So the Rangers are going up there hacking against Skubal. 2 batters and 2 first pitch swings. And there's a swing and a miss by Skubal. He's quickly in an 0-2 hole, or by Seager rather, against Skubal. He's quickly in an 0-2 hole. And Skubal delivers very quickly on the mound as well. He comes with the 0-2 pitch, and that misses high, 1-2. Tried to get Seager to chase that one. He's reached base safely, Seager has in the last 20 games. And here comes the 1-2 pitch from Skubal to Seager. Down low, 2-2. Here's the 2-2 pitch. That's lined into left. That's going to be a base hit. That's going to roll all the way to the wall and left. Rounding first and reaching second, and Seager has a 1-out stand-up double here in the bottom of the first. Corey Seager with his 13th double of the season, and the Rangers have a runner in scoring position with 1 out here in the first. And the batter will be Marcus Semien. Team's hit leader, overall average at .234, 12 home runs. He's drove in 49. This is not a real big power-hitting Rangers team. Not a real strong offensive team either are the Rangers. Their team batting average as a team is just .231. A 1 pitch from Skubal's low to Semien, a ball and a strike. Skubal looks on. Seager leads from first, and the 1-1 pitch is fouled back. Seager is not going to take a very big lead from first base, as he is not a stolen base threat. Or lead from second, rather. And here comes the 1-2 pitch. Up high, 2-2. 96 on that fastball from Skubal. Two-two pitch from Skubal to Semien on the way. All called strike 3 at the knees. Semien looked at that one right at the knees, and that's the first strikeout for Skubal. And it brings up Adolis Garcia. Average of 232 on the season, 13 home runs. He's drove in 56. He is the team's RBI leader. Runner at first and 2 outs. Strike one. Alfonso Marquez is the home plate umpire tonight. Carlos Torres is at first base. Lance Barrett at second base. Tom Hanahan, who called the balls and strikes last night, is at third. Oh, 1 pitch. A broken bat, and it's foul. It's now 0-2. Boy, that bat just shattered on that foul ball. And Garcia's in an 0-2 hole. As Adolis Garcia gets a new bat and gets set to step back in the batter's box. And we'll await an 0-2 pitch from Skubal. Skubal's 0-2 to Garcia. Fouled away. Seager is at second base. He got there via the 1-out double, and the Rangers hope to not strand him as Skubal looks to get out of it here in the bottom of the first. Another 0-2 pitch on the way from Skubal to Garcia, way high and outside, 1-2. Seager a lead from second, not a big one. Skubal looks on and delivers the 1-2. Swing and a miss, strike three. 2 strikeouts in the inning for Skubal. Rangers strand a runner at second. And we are through 1 in Arlington. Rangers and Tigers, 0-0. Two strikeouts for Skubal in the inning gives him now 155 on the season. Run down those baseball scores again for you. I mentioned the Blue Jays beat the Giants 8-6 today. Orioles 5-3 win in Tampa over the Rays. Angels win in Philadelphia 8-2 over the Phillies. Mentioned White Sox got their first sweep of the year, 7-2 win in Pittsburgh over the Pirates. That's the Tigers' next opponent. They will head to Pittsburgh after this series against the Rangers. They'll head to Pittsburgh starting tomorrow night for a series. Yankees win in Atlanta 4-2. Padres an 8-1 win over the Nationals. Mets 3-2 over the Reds. Royals win down in Miami over the Marlins 7-4. Cleveland all over the A's 8-2. The A's, the Rangers' next opponent. Rangers stay home and host the A's for a series starting tomorrow night. Red Sox win at Wrigley 6-1 over the Cubs. Twins 7-1 win in Colorado over the Rockies. Astros win in Seattle 11-3. Brewers complete the sweep of the Dodgers 6-5. That's 9 wins in a row now for the Brewers. And the Diamondbacks beat the Cardinals 5-3. The rest of the baseball scoreboard on this Sunday. And again, Scott Scheffler winning up the Open Championship up there in Northern Ireland. He's just 1 leg short of the career Grand Slam now. A 4-stroke win for Scheffler in the Open today. So here we're set to begin the second inning between the Tigers and Rangers. No score after 1 here on a Sunday evening in Arlington, Texas. Tigers' second inning, Perez will be the leadoff batter for Detroit. and takes low for ball one. Wenceel Perez on the season, hitting at 257. 7 home runs. He's drove in 20. And a strike called there. It's now 1-1 to Perez. One on the way. Lined into left field. That's a base hit for Perez to lead off the second inning for Detroit. So the leadoff man on for the Tigers here in the second. And it will bring up the number 6 hitter for the Tigers, the center fielder, Matt Vierling. Matt Vierling struggling on the year, just 190. This just his 16th game he's appeared in this year. Drove in 4 runs. Vierling fouls this one off for strike 1. Vierling sends this one in the air to right, curving into right, staying right on fair territory, and the catch made in right field out there by Garcia for the first out. Looked like that was going to go foul, but it stayed fair just at the last minute there, and Garcia made the catch along the right field line for the first out. And it will bring up the Tigers catcher, Dylan Dingler. Dingler hitting at 263 on the season. 8 home runs. He's drove in 36. And the pitch to Dingler's inside for ball 1. Runner at first, 1 out for the Tigers here in a scoreless second inning in Arlington. And the 1-0 pitch right down the middle, strike 1. Tigers third baseman Zach McKinstry is on deck. Upstairs on the 1-1, it's now 2-1 to the Tigers catcher Dingler. Two 2-1 pitch on the way. Dingler hits it into center. That's going to be a base hit. Perez will stop at second, and the Tigers have 2 on with 1 out here in the second inning. So a great scoring opportunity for the Tigers here early on in this one, and it'll bring up the number 8 hitter, Zach McKinstry. McKinstry hitting 279, 8 home runs, 31 RBIs. And that catches the outside corner for strike 1 to McKinstry. Runners at first and second. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. Lined into right field. That's going to be a base hit. Perez rounding third, throw home is offline, and the Tigers dent the scoreboard first here in the second inning. RBI by McKinstry, and it's 1-0 Detroit. Dingler advanced to third on the play, and on the throw home, McKinstry took second. Garcia cut it off immediately, but his throw home was way offline from right field. And the Tigers jump out to a 1-0 second inning lead. And ball one to the number 9 hitter for the Tigers, Javi Baez. Playing third base, or playing shortstop tonight, hitting 276, 10 home runs. He's drove in 39. Runners at second and third. Baez swings through it. 1-1 now. Tigers already one in, trying to add some more with 2 runners in scoring position here with 1 out. Baez was swinging for the fence on that last swing. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Outside, 2-1. Baez looks on, and the 2-1 pitch from Latz. Baez fouls it off third base side, 2-2. Dingler at third, McKinstry at second. The 2 runners on for the Tigers. And the 2-2 pitch to Baez on the way. Fouled off. The Tigers in this game with already won, and they're making Latz get up on that pitch count early on as well. This already is 36th pitch of the season, as that's another foul ball left side into the concourse area. Here comes another 2-2 pitch on the way from Latz to Baez. Swing and a miss. That was way outside, but Baez went after it, and Latz has a strikeout. And we're back to the top of the order for the Tigers now with 2 outs. In Jones, swing and a miss, strike 1. Jones 0 for 1 so far. Oh, 1 inside, 1-1. Latz looks on and brings the 1-1 pitch to Jones. Here it is. Foul back. Ball and 2 strikes. Another big crowd on hand in Arlington, Texas tonight. A 93-degree evening in Arlington. Of course, Globe Life Field has a retractable roof, so it's nice air-conditioned inside. That just missed on the 1-2 pitch. Now 2-2. Latz looks on, and the 2-2 pitch on the way to Jones. Here it is, up high, and the count goes full. Payoff pitch is lifted in the air to right. And the catch made by the second baseman, Semien, to end the inning. Tigers get 1, but it could have been worse for Texas as they strand 2 in scoring position As we go to the bottom of the second inning, Tigers 1, Rangers nothing. As these two teams, the Tigers have been the best team in Major League Baseball for the majority of the season so far, but I mentioned they're on this current 6-game losing streak that they're trying to snap tonight. And the Texas Rangers, their postseason aspirations, they won, as mentioned earlier, they won the World Series in 2023, did the Rangers, their first ever World Series championship. Tigers have not won one in 41 years, 1984. The last World Series championship for the Tigers. They did make it back in 2012, but were beaten in the series by the Giants. So 2012, the last World Series appearance for Detroit, but they're trying to snap a 41-year World Series drought up there in Detroit. Of course, that 1984 World Series, and remember Kirk Gibson hitting that home run at Tiger Stadium that pretty much clinched this World Series championship for Detroit at home that year. And the Rangers back in 2023 winning their World Series, they beat Arizona in the 2023 World Series. Two surprise teams in the World Series that year, Rangers and Diamondbacks 2 years ago. As we get set to head to the bottom of the second inning in Arlington, Tigers lead the Rangers 1-0. For the Rangers here in the bottom of the second inning, it's going to be 5, 6, and 7 in the batting order. Kyle Higashioka will lead off the bottom of the second for Texas, hitting at .250, 4 home runs. He's drove in 25 on the year. As he back to work is Tarek Skubal, now with a lead in this game, 1-0. It is still early. Bottom of the second. And the pitch from Skubal, late off the bottom of the second, is strike one to Higashioka. Oh, 1 is low, 1-1. One pitch, down low, 2-1. Higashioka will be followed by Heim and Freeman, 5, 6, 7 for the Rangers here in the bottom of the second. And Skubal looks on and delivers the 2-1 pitch to Higashioka. Swing and a miss, 2-2 now. Heim brought that fastball at 95 miles an hour. 2-2 pitch to Higashioka. Again, Skubal works quickly on the mound, and he brings the 2-2. Higashioka swings and misses for strike 3. Third strikeout already for Skubal in this one. 1 down in the inning, and it'll bring up Jonah Heim. Jonah Heim on the year for the Rangers, hitting .220. He's got 8 home runs. He's drove in 28 for the Rangers catcher. And strike 1 to Heim from Skubal. Swing and a miss on the 0-1 pitch. That was high, but Heim couldn't lay off, and he's quickly down 0-2. Heim steps out momentarily and gets set for the 0-2 pitch from Skubal. And here it comes. Heim in the air, popped up. First baseman right there for the catch is Torkelson for out number 2. 2 outs very quickly here at the bottom of the second inning for Texas. And Freeman will step up, the number 7 hitter for Texas here with 2 out, nobody on. Skubal delivers to Freeman. Swing and a miss. Strike 1. Freeman steps back in quickly as Skubal works quickly and delivers the 0-1. That hit the outside corner, 0-2 on Freeman. Rangers with that win last night got over 500 by a game now. Sitting third in the AL West as Freeman fouls that back. It's still 0-2. Again, the Tigers still leading the American League Central, but that lead is dwindling with the Tigers' current 6-game losing streak. Another 0-2 pitch coming to Freeman from Skubal. Inside, 1-2. Freeman steps in again and lets the 1-2. Freeman couldn't hold up. He went around. And Skubal with his 4th strikeout, and the Rangers retired in order, 1-2-3 in the third. 2 in the books in Arlington. Tigers 1, Rangers nothing. As it will be 2, 3, and 4 due up for the Tigers here in the third. Torres, Green, and Torkelson against Heim. And in other sports action, of course, NFL training camps have been getting underway. Teams reporting to training camp this week. We've got the Hall of Fame preseason game, the preseason game that kicks off the NFL preseason. That's coming up a week from Thursday. They're in Canton, Ohio. That'll be Hall of Fame weekend as well. They're in Canton. That game will feature the Chargers and the Lions a week from Thursday, the annual NFL Hall of Fame game in Canton. They're on NFL Hall of Fame weekend in Canton, Ohio, coming up next weekend. As they will also, on Hall of Fame weekend in the NFL this year, add to the Hall of Fame Antonio Gates from the Chargers there, as they're playing in that game. Eric Allen, and Sterling Sharp. Sterling Sharp, the one getting in this year. I'm not quite sure what took so long to put him in the Hall of Fame. He had a heck of a career with the Packers. As it will be those 4 getting inducted in the NFL Hall of Fame next weekend in Canton, Ohio. But here, as we get set for the third inning here in this baseball game between the Tigers and the Rangers, again, it'll be 2, 3, 4 in the Tigers lineup. Gleyber Torres, Riley Green, and Spencer Torkelson. As the Tigers have a current 1-0 lead in this one. Run in the second inning for the Tigers. Heim is over the 40 pitch count in just 2 innings so far for Texas. I'm sorry, Latz, excuse me, not Heim, Latz. As Gleyber Torres leads off, he's 1 for 1. And takes a strike as we're underway in the third. 44 pitches for Latz currently. Little high for 2 innings plus a pitch. And the 0-1 is a strike at the knees, 0-2. Riley Green is on deck. Here comes the 0-2 pitch. Up high, 1-2. One and two, the count on Torres. And here comes the 1-2 pitch, down low, 2-2. 2-2 pitch from Latz to Torres. Here it is. Down low, and Torres has battled back from 0-2 down to a full count now, 3-2. Here comes the 3-2 payoff pitch from Latz to Torres. In the air, foul. We'll do it again. Another payoff pitch coming to Torres. Instead, time called as Torres backs out. Torres stepping back in the box and gets set for another 3-2 payoff. Up high, ball 4. Great battle by Torres. He was down 0-2 and comes back to draw a walk, and he's reached base both times tonight so far. And the batter will be Riley Greene. Riley Greene struck out his first time. The pitch to Greene is a strike. Here's the 0-1 down low, 1-1. Latz looks on and gets set for the 1-1 pitch to Greene. At the knee, strike 2. Torres the lead from first, and here comes the 1-2 pitch. Up high, 2-2. Latz is 2-2, fouled away. Torres was off with that pitch as well. He's got to go back to first base. Torres with 4 stolen bases on the season, but he was taken off on that one. And we get set for another 2-2 pitch to Riley Greene. Here it comes. On the ground to first. Throw to second, 1. Back over to first. That's a double play. And there's 2 outs. Greene grounds into a double play to erase Torres from first base as there are now 2 out. So 2 out, nobody on now for Torkelson. Torkelson 0 for 1 on the night so far. And Latz brings it, ball 1. Torkelson awaits the 1-0 pitch from Latz. And here it is. Low again, 2-0. Perez on deck for Detroit. Here's the 2-0, now 3-0 as that one's nowhere close. Torkelson probably taking a pitch or two here, as Latz's 3 pitches to him, and this at bat have not really been anywhere near the strike zone. And this will be the 60th pitch already for Latz, and we're only in the 3rd inning, and here comes the 3-0. That's a 4-pitch walk to Spencer Torkelson with 2 outs. And it will now bring up Wenceel Perez. Perez singled and scored the Tigers' run last inning. And the pitch on the way, in the air to right field. Bud Garcia right there to make the catch, and that will end the top of the 3rd inning. Tigers get the 2-out walk, but the runner stranded, and a double play ends the 3rd inning threat. We stay 1-0 Tigers over Rangers as we head to the bottom half of the 3rd inning. Rangers will send 8, 9, and 1 in the batting order. Try to get something going against Tarik Skubal. As it will be Justin Foscue that will lead off the bottom of the 3rd for the Rangers. This page, barring my work schedule, I do have a full-time job, so that's what's created havoc for this little bit of hiatus I've been on this page. But hope to be back with you Tuesday night. Bring you a Major League Baseball game between the Red Sox and Phillies. That is the tentative plan at this point anyway. Wanted to be on with you last night for Red Sox-Cubs game, but again, work schedule got a little hectic, and unfortunately was unable to do that. But hopefully, the tentative plan is to be back with you Tuesday night on this stream, on my stream, for the game between the Red Sox and the Phillies. Hopefully be able to do that. Here's what we'll give you another rundown of the Major League Baseball scoreboard coming up here after this half inning. Full slate of Major League Baseball is Major League Baseball getting back underway after the All-Star break. All-Star game, of course, Tuesday night between the National League and the American League. That game ended with a home run or a swing off to decide the All-Star game, which I got to be honest, I have never heard of anything like that in my life. But they ended up with a swing off. Kyle Schwarber won that game in the swing off. So here we go, bottom of the 2nd. Justin Foscue leads off for Texas. Rangers first baseman just appearing in his 4th game of the season. Gas drove in a couple runs this year. As Tarik Skubal back to the mound for the Tigers. And the pitch to Foscue, up and in, ball 1. One-0 pitch is at the knee, strike 1, 1-1. One. And the difference in pitch count between these two pitchers as the 2-1 pitch is a strike. Latz is already over 60 pitches for the Rangers. Tarik Skubal only at the 33 pitch mark so far. And the 2-2 pitch coming to Foscue on the way from Tarik Skubal. Here it comes. At the knee, strike 3. Foscue didn't like that call, but that's been a strike all night from our home plate umpire, Alfonso Marquez. And that's the 5th strikeout for Tarik Skubal. One down, and it'll bring up the number 9 hitter, Ezekiel Duran for the Rangers. Hitting just 150 on the season. Just drove in 5 runs. Skubal delivered a strike, and that one just missed low on the 0-1. It's now 1-1. Again, this Rangers team, not a real strong offensive team this year. The Rangers, the team batting average is just 231 on the season. As a bunt attempt is foul by Duran, and it's 0-2. Top of the order, Langford on deck for Texas. Duran 0 for 9 in his career against Skubal. Has the 1-2 pitch from Skubal to Duran on the way, and a swing and a miss. Duran now 0 for 10 in his career against Skubal, and Skubal has his 6th strikeout of the night. And we're back to the top of the order in Langford. Langford 0 for 1. As the Rangers, the first time through the lineup, managed just 1 hit against Skubal. That was by Corey Seager, who's on deck. Swing and a miss from Langford, strike 1. Here's the 0-1 to Langford, up and in, 1-1. One pitch. Swing and a miss again, 1-2. Boy, Skubal is bringing it. Skubal's 1-2 pitch on the way to Langford. Down low, 2-2. Two-two pitch. Here it comes. Swing and a miss. Skubal strikes out the side in the third. 7 strikeouts on the night for Skubal. Rangers retired in order in the third. We head to the fourth. 1-0 Detroit. Tigers will have 6, 7, and 8 in the batting order coming up here in the top of the 4th inning. And between innings here, between the 3rd and 4th innings, let's run down, once again, the Major League Baseball scoreboard from today. Blue Jays north of the border beat the Giants 8-6. Blue Jays remain in first place in the American League East. Angels win in Philly 8-2. White Sox win in Pittsburgh over the Pirates 7-2. That's the first series sweep of the season for the White Sox. Yankees win in Atlanta 4-2. They take that series. Padres all over the Nationals in our nation's capital, 8-1. Mets avoid the sweep at home versus the Reds, 3-2, the final there. Royals win in Miami, 7-4 over the Marlins. Cleveland all over the A's at home, 8-2. Red Sox win at Wrigley over the Cubs, 6-1. Twins a 7-1 win in the Mile High City over the Rockies. Astros all over the Mariners in Seattle, 11-3. Brewers run their winning streak to 9 as they 6-5 win over the Dodgers, sweep that series. Dodgers have been in a little bit of a funk here the last 2.5 weeks. And the Diamondbacks beat the Cardinals in Arizona 5-3. The rest of the Major League Baseball scoreboard on this Sunday after the All-Star break. And here it'll be 6, 7, and 8 in the Tigers batting order here in the top of the 4th inning. Vierling, Dingler, and McKinstry. due up here in the fourth. Against Latz, who's currently at 61 pitches through 3 innings. Vierling leading it off here in the top of the fourth and takes strike one. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. Fouled away, and it's quickly 0-2. Oh, 2 pitch upcoming. Here comes the 0-2. Up high, 1-2. One-two pitch on the way. Here it is, up high, 2-2. Latz looks on, and the 2-2 pitch to Vierling coming up. A ground ball foul, third base side. We'll do it again. Two-two pitch. Outside, full count now, 3-2. Full count pitch. In the air to center field, back on it, looking, still going at the track. The catch is made by Langford in center field. That ball kept traveling and traveling and traveling, and Langford makes the catch at the wall for the first out. And that will bring up the Tigers catcher, Dingler. Dingler takes strike one. Dingler is 1 for 1. He singled in his previous plate appearance. And here comes the 0-1 pitch up high, 1-1. One pitch on the way from Latz to Dingler. Here it comes. Inside, 2-1. Two balls, one strike. The count on Dingler. Here are the Tigers half of the fourth. Dingler sends it into left center. He's going to get his second hit of the game. That's going to roll all the way to the wall. And Dingler is at second base and will hold there with a one-out double. And the Tigers once again have a runner in scoring position as Dingler doubles for the 12th time this year. So an RBI chance for McKinstry. He drove in the Tigers' run back in the second inning that brought in Perez. As the Tigers look to add some insurance to their 1-0 lead. As Mike Maddox, the pitching coach, goes out to have a word with Latz, Rangers bullpen is going to start to stir here. As Latz, despite only giving up the 1 run, he is well over 70 pitches in just the 4th inning of this game. Rangers going with their powder blue uniforms tonight. Here's McKinstry against Latz. McKinstry goes after the first pitch, pops it up. Foul territory, third base side. The catch made by Freeman for out number 2. So McKinstry went after the first pitch and popped it up for the second out. And it will bring up the number 9 hitter, Javi Baez, to try to drive in Dingler from second base. Baez is 0 for 1, and he takes that one up and in for ball 1. Baez a strikeout victim his first time. 1-0 pitch, swing and a miss. 1-1. Baez looks on and gets set for a 1-1 pitch from Latz. Swing and a miss at a pitch high out of the strike zone. 1-2. One and two the count. 1-2 on the way, a swing and a miss. Latz strikes out Baez to get out of the top of the 4th. Dingler stranded at second after the 1-out double. 2, 3, and 4 in the Rangers lineup due up in the bottom of the 4th. Tigers lead at 1-0. You know, they would have loved to have added some insurance that half inning, but not to be. And now the Rangers will come up. So they've already seen Skubal once through the lineup. Now the second time through the order. See if they're able to figure him out a little bit, as Skubal's only at 43 pitches through 3 innings. As it'll be Seager, Semien, and Garcia in the Rangers lineup due up here in the bottom of the 4th inning. And after this series concludes in Arlington, the Tigers will head to Pittsburgh to start a series with the Pirates. Gets underway tomorrow night. The Rangers stay at home at Globe Life Field to host the A's in a series that also begins tomorrow night. AL West showdown there. A's and Rangers. In this Tigers-Rangers finale of 3, Rangers won the first 2. Possibly could be a playoff preview down the road. Tigers still leading the American League Central. Rangers with postseason aspirations themselves. We could see these teams play again down the road. As the Rangers were able to get back over 500 with their win last night. Here it'll be Seager, Semien, and Garcia. Seager has the only hit of the game so far for the Rangers against Skubal. That was a double back in the second inning. As Skubal heads back to the mound, 7 strikeouts for Skubal through 3 innings and just 43 pitches. First pitch, bottom of the 4th to Seager. slider misses for ball one. Seager fouls it off. Now a ball and a strike. With that hit back in the first inning for Seager, he is now 7 for 10 in his career against Tarik Skubal. Here comes the 1-1 pitch. And Seager is going to get a base hit to left center, and he continues his success against Skubal. A single to go along with his double back in the first, and the Rangers have the leadoff man on here in the bottom of the fourth. It'll bring up Semien. Semien is one of 7 strikeout victims against Skubal in this game. Pitch from Skubal inside, ball 1 to Semien. Lead at first base from Seager, and here comes the 0-1 pitch from Skubal, or the 1-0 pitch from Skubal to Semien. On the ground to short, they will go to second and get the lead runner. It wasn't hit hard enough to turn 2, but Seager, the lead runner, is erased for the first out. So one down here in the bottom of the fourth, and it'll bring up Garcia, who also struck out his first time against Skubal. So the Rangers start to make a little bit of contact against Skubal as Garcia goes after the first pitch and fouls it back. Garcia, the Rangers' right fielder. And time called in the box. Garcia steps in and gets set to receive the 0-1 pitch from Skubal. This will be pitch number 50. Foul back, and it's 0-2. Oh, 2 on the way. Hit foul. Third base side. Skubal looks in again and gets set to deliver the 0-2 pitch. Here it comes. Instead, a throw over to first base. Seager back, or Semien back, rather. Marcus Semien, the batter at first base, he hit into a fielder's choice. As he stands at first with 1 out, strike 3 right down the middle. Garcia didn't even offer at that one, and that's strikeout number 8 for Tarik Skubal. And it'll bring up the DH Higashioka, who also struck out his first time against Skubal. Outside, ball 1. Skubal gets set to deliver the 1-0 pitch. And here it comes. Down low, 2-0. 2-0 pitch. Swing and a miss. 2-1. Skubal's 2-1 pitch to Higashioka on the way. Foul back. Count goes full, or even rather, 2-2. Skubal looks in and brings the 2-2 pitch to Higashioka. Higashioka sends it into center field, and on the run, and the catch made. The over-the-shoulder catch in center field by Vierling to end the bottom of the fourth. Texas gets the hit from Seager, but a fielder's choice, strikeout, and flyout after that ends the threat. We played 4 in Arlington. Tigers 1, Rangers nothing. And in the 5th inning, it'll be the top of the order for the Tigers. Jones, Torres, and Green. Will be the batters here in the top of the 5th inning for Detroit. Again, the other big sports news of the day, Scotty Scheffler winning the Open Championship. That is his 3rd. He now has 3 of the 4 career Grand Slam events. Just needing 1 more for the career Grand Slam. $17 under his final score. They're in the Open Championship over there in Northern Ireland. That's his 2nd major this year. He won the PGA Championship earlier this year. That was by 5 strokes. He wins this one by 4. So he is just missing the U.S. Open championship from his resume now to complete the career Grand Slam. He's won the Masters twice, the PGA, and now the Open Championship. So here we go in the top of the 5th inning from Arlington. Rangers trail the Tigers 1-0. Top of the order for Detroit, Jones will lead off. Jones 0 for 2 in this game so far, as he will lead off the Tigers' 5th. And Latz to work here in the 5th inning. Strike 1. Oh, 1 pitch from Latz to Jones. Swing and a miss. 0-2 now. Jones will be followed by Torres, Green. The 1, 2, and 3 hitters for Detroit here in the 5th. And the 0-2 pitch coming to Jones is foul back. Rangers bullpen starting to loosen out there, as the pitch is grounded to third base and the out recorded at first for the first out here in the Tigers' 5th inning. That's Luke Jackson warming up for the Rangers in the bullpen. Brings up Gleyber Torres. He's reached base both times, and now has reached base all 3 times as he sends that one into left field for a base hit. So Torres 2 for 2, as well as a walk. And a 1-out single here in the 5th for the Tigers. How much longer will Boshi go with Latz on the hill as Riley Green gets set to step up? Green is 0 for 2 in his 2 previous at-bats against Latz. The look and the pitch. Strike 1. Oh, 1 pitch on the way to Green. Hit to second. That might be 2. Throw to second. 1 on to first. 2. That's a double play. And that ends the top of the 5th inning. Second double play tonight turned by Texas. As the Tigers are finished in the 5th. Bottom 5 coming. Tigers continue to lead the Rangers 1-0. It's going to be 6, 7, and 8. Heim, Freeman, and Foscue for the Rangers in the bottom of the 5th inning against Tarik Skubal, who is at 57 pitches through 4 innings. Ran the pitch count up a little bit in that 4th inning, but came out of it unscathed. Rangers defense helped themselves tonight by turning the 2 double plays. Tarik Skubal back to the mound with his 8 strikeouts tonight. He now has 161 strikeouts on the season. Again, that's compared to just 16 walks. That is now over a 10-1 strikeout to walk ratio. He has been just absolutely phenomenal this year on the mound for the Tigers and got the well-deserved All-Star Game start on the mound for the American League this past week. The All-Star Game was held in Atlanta this past Tuesday. So the Rangers so far, Seager's been the only one that's been able to figure out Tarik Skubal. He's got both of the Ranger hits so far tonight. And Heim will be the leadoff batter for Texas here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Heim is 0 for 1 on the night. As Skubal back to work here on the mound here in the bottom of the 5th for the Tigers. Tarik Skubal currently by far and away the favorite for the American League Cy Young again this season, as the first pitch at the bottom of the 5th is low for ball 1. One-0 pitch from Skubal to Jonah Heim. Low and inside, 2-0. Heim will be followed by Freeman and Foscue here at the bottom of the 5th for Texas. Swing and a miss on a 2-0 from Jonah Heim. It's now 2-1. Skubal gets set to bring the 2-1 pitch to Jonah Heim as Heim steps back in. And here comes that 2-1 pitch. Inside, 3-1. And this is a rare situation for Skubal. He only has 16 walks the entire season. He doesn't get to 3-ball counts very often. But he is behind Heim 3-1 here. And the 3-1, Heim fouls it off to fill the count 3-2. A 3-2 payoff pitch on the way from Skubal to Heim. Here it comes. Fouled away. Heim just got a piece of that to stay alive. Skubal a little frustrated. I think he thought he had the pitch to get Heim on, but Heim just able to make contact and foul it off. And we'll do another 3-2 pitch. Big crowd on hand in Arlington, Texas on a Sunday night. Arlington about halfway between Dallas and Fort Worth. The 3-2 payoff is fouled again. Tarik Skubal, not only did he win the Cy Young Award last year, got the Triple Crown for pitchers. And the 3-2 payoff is popped up right along the foul line on the first base side. The catch is made for the first out as Torkelson makes the catch. And now it'll bring up Freeman. Freeman, a strikeout victim his first time against Skubal, one of 8 strikeout victims. And he takes a strike here right down the middle, strike 1. Skubal's 0-1 to Freeman. Lifted foul right side, and Freeman's in an 0-2 hole. Cody Freeman making his first career start in Major League Baseball tonight. Oh, 2 pitch misses high, 1-2. One-two pitch. In the air to right. Playable out there in right field for Perez for out number 2. Cody Freeman made his Major League debut on Friday night in that game against the Tigers, but getting his first Major League start tonight. He's 0 for 2 so far against Skubal. And the batter's Justin Foscue, who also struck out his first time. Strike. 1-1. One pitch is foul back, 1-2. Foscue gets set to receive a 1-2 pitch from Skubal. Here comes the 1-2. Fouled away. Foscue stays alive. Duran on deck for the Rangers if Foscue can get on base. And the 1-2. Foscue sends it in the air to left, barely having to move out there in left field is Riley Green, and he's got it. And the Rangers are retired 1-2-3 in the fifth. Middle of the Tigers order due up here in the top of the sixth. Torkelson, Perez, and Vierling as the Tigers continue to lead this game 1-0. And let's see if we have seen the end of the road for Latz on the mound tonight for the Rangers. He did make it through 5. Didn't pitch badly. He's given up 6 hits. The 1 run in the second inning was earned. 2 walks and 3 strikeouts so far for Latz as he's at the 84 pitch mark. We'll see if the Rangers make a change on the mound here to lead off the 6th inning. Four, 5, and 6, as mentioned in the Tigers' order. Torkelson, Perez, and Vierling. Due up here. Run down the baseball scoreboard once again here next inning. And get you set for some upcoming matchups this week in Major League Baseball, as we are down to the final little over 2 months left in the regular season before postseason play begins. Last year's World Series champion, the Dodgers, have hit quite the funk here in the last 2.5 weeks. They'd went on that long losing streak right before the All-Star break, finally broke it, and then following the All-Star break, come back from the All-Star break and get swept at home by Milwaukee. Milwaukee themselves, they're on a roll. They're on a now 9-game winning streak. It is going to be a new pitcher for the Rangers, Luke Jackson, coming into the game to pitch for Texas. So Latz done after 5 innings. So Luke Jackson comes on for the 38th time. 2-5 record, 4.45 ERA, 18 walks and 23 strikeouts, 32 1/3 innings. And he starts with a slider, ball 1, to the Tigers' cleanup hitter, Spencer Torkelson. And it's quickly 2-0. Torkelson 0 for 1 on the night. He has reached on a walk. And the 2-0s right down the middle from Jackson, strike 1. 2-1 to Torkelson. Two-one pitch. Torkelson sends it into left. Along the foul line. Is it playable? It is right along the foul line in left field. Catch made by Duran for the first out. Thought for sure that was headed out of play, but it held up and stayed in play for Duran to make the catch for the first out. And it'll bring up Perez. Perez 1 for 2 in the game, and he scored the lone Tiger run back in the second inning. And takes outside, ball 1. One-0 pitch lifted to left again. And another play made out there in left field by Duran for out number 2. And 2 outs very quickly here in the Tiger 6th. And now Vierling steps up. He's 0 for 2. Veerling takes ball 1. Looking ahead to the Rangers' 6th inning, it's going to be 9-1-2. Duran, Langford, and Seager in the bottom of the 6th. Down low on the slider, it's 2-0. Here comes the 2-0 pitch. And now 3-0. Veerling gets set to receive the 3-0 and taking all the way, and it's a strike, 3-1. Three-one pitch. Veerling sends it in the air. And the center fielder calls and makes the catch. Langford and a 1-2-3, top of the 6th for the Tigers. We head to the bottom of the 6th. It's still Tigers 1, Rangers nothing. As quite the pitcher's duel here tonight, as Trevor Siemian. Wow. Terrence Skubal getting here through 5 innings for the Tigers. At 74 pitches, he's given up 2 hits. Eight strikeouts. Should see him go back to the mound here in the bottom of the 6th inning, as he will face Duran, Langford, and Seager for the Rangers in the bottom of the 6th. With his 5 scoreless innings so far tonight, Skubal's ERA has dropped now to 2.14. Mentioned 161 strikeouts now in the season to just 16 walks. That is an incredible strikeout to walk ratio. Duran 0 for 1 as he will lead off the bottom of the 6th. He is one of the 8 strikeout victims against Skubal in this game. As the Rangers have been held to 2 hits through 5 innings, both of those hits from Corey Seager. And he is due up 3rd here in the bottom of the 6th. So here we go, bottom of the 6th inning. Duran leads it off, and Skubal back to work on the mound for the Tigers. Skubal's first pitch in the bottom of the 6th is a strike on the inside corner to Duran. Here comes the 0-1. That's down low, a ball and a strike. One, caught the inside corner, strike 2. Duran awaits the 1-2 from Skubal. Here it comes. Check swing foul, first base side, and it stays 1-2. Another 1-2 pitch coming from Skubal to Duran. Instead, Duran steps out. 1-2 pitch. Pop foul. That'll reach the seats out of play. It stays 1-2. Skubal about to deliver his 80th pitch of the night. And here it comes. And went around at Duran, strike 3. Couldn't hold up. And that's the 9th strikeout for Skubal tonight. And we're back to the top of the order in Langford. Duran knows he swung at a bad pitch that time. That was way out of the strike zone, but Duran couldn't hold up. Top of the order now. Langford 0 for 2 and takes low for ball 1. Tigers got an RBI single by Perez back in the second, and that's so far that one run is held up to this point. Swing and a miss. 1-1 the count to Langford. Here comes the 1-1 pitch from Skubal to Langford. To shortstop on one hop. 2 down. So here comes Seager, the only Texas Ranger that's been able to figure out Skubal, as he has both Ranger hits tonight. A double and a single. He is now 8 for 11 career against Skubal with his 2 hits tonight. Seager goes after the first pitch, but lines it right to second. And Seager retired for the first time tonight. Rangers retired in order in the 6th. Tigers will have 7, 8, 9 due up in the top of the 7th inning. Still leading 1-0 over the Rangers. Let's run down the baseball scoreboard once again for you here between the 6th and 7th innings. AL East leading Toronto Blue Jays win again. They defeat the Giants 8-6. Down in Tampa, an AL East battle, Orioles beat the Rays 5-3. Angels win in Philly over the Phillies 8-2. White Sox 7-2 win over the Pirates in Pittsburgh. Yankees beat the Braves down in Atlanta 4-2. Padres an 8-1 win over the Nationals. Mets avoid the sweep by winning at 3-2 over the Reds. Royals win down in Miami over the Marlins 7-4. Cleveland all over the A's at home 8-2. Red Sox win in Chicago at Wrigley over the Cubs 6-1. Twins 7-1 win at Coors Field over the Rockies. Astros all over the Mariners in Seattle 11-3. Brewers sweep the Dodgers at Dodger Stadium 6-5, and the Diamondbacks beat the Cardinals 5-3. Big series starts in Toronto tomorrow between the Yankees and Blue Jays. Last series they met in Toronto. The Blue Jays swept 4 from the Yankees. So the Yankees will have some revenge on their minds there. Another big series out west starting tomorrow, the Brewers and the Mariners. Brewers have eyes of catching the Cubs in the Central. The Mariners still with serious wild card hopes in the American League. So that's a big series starting tomorrow out in Seattle. Brewers coming off a sweep over the Dodgers, trying to carry that momentum of their 9-game winning streak into that series against the Mariners. But here in the top of the 7th inning in this one, Tigers lead the Rangers 1-0 and a strike to begin the top of the 7th. To Dylan Dingler, 7, 8, 9 in the Tigers lineup. Swing and a miss. It's now 0-2. Luke Jackson back out there for his second inning of relief for the Rangers. He only threw 11 pitches in the sixth inning in retiring the Tigers in order, and now has Dingler down here 0-2, and here comes the 0-2 pitch. Dingler sends it in the air to center. On the run at the warning track, the second catch made on the warning track tonight by Langford for the first out. And it'll bring up McKinstry. 1 for 2. He drove in that Tigers run back in the second inning. The pitch is a strike to McKinstry. McKinstry looks, and the 0-1 pitch coming. Outside and high, 1-1. One pitch. Up high again, 2-1. Jackson looks on and delivers the 2-1 pitch to McKinstry. Line foul. Into the camera row there, right next to the first base dugout. It's 2-2. Here comes the 2-2 pitch. Outside, and the count runs full, 3-2. Three-two payoff. Ball 4 just missed. And a 1-out walk to McKinstry. And out comes Mike Maddox to have a word with Luke Jackson on the mound. Catcher Heim out there as well. The batter's going to be Trey Sweeney. Sweeney came on as a defensive replacement for Baez in the bottom of the sixth. Now he's going to get his first at bat. Sweeney hitting .213 on the year, 5 home runs. He's drove in 27. Ranger bullpen busy again. That's Hobie Milner warming in the bullpen. Sweeney, the batter against Jackson. A runner at first, 1 out for the Tigers in the 7th. Pitch is outside and taking off from first, and a stolen base for McKinstry. His 16th steal of the year. He is the Tigers' stolen base leader and gets his 16th of the season. So now the Tigers with a runner in scoring position with 1 out, and Sweeney hits it foul, first base side. 1-1. McKinstry now the lead from second as the Tigers look to add an insurance run here in the 7th. And the pitch, did Sweeney hold up? He did not. He went around. Third base umpire Tom Hanahan says Sweeney went around there, and it's now 1-2. And here comes the 1-2 pitch. Jackson looks on. Jackson looks back at second and delivers. Just missed the corner, 2-2. I think Jackson thought he had that one. And McKinstry again will lead from second. Jackson looks on and delivers the 2-2 pitch to Sweeney. In the air, foul. And we'll do another 2-2 pitch. Sweeney steps in. Jackson gets the signal from his catcher and brings the 2-2 pitch to Sweeney. Here it comes. Right down the middle, strike three. That's obviously not the pitch Sweeney was looking for, as he takes strike three right down the pipe. And there's the second out. And we are not going to see Jones come to the plate. We're going to have a pinch hitter here. It's going to be Colt Keith coming on to pinch hit for Jones. Keith, a .260 hitter, 8 home runs. He's drove in 30, and that looks like it's going to be it for Jackson as Bruce Bochy makes his way to the mound. It's going to be Hobie Milner coming on to pitch for Texas as Jackson departs after an inning and 2/3. He is responsible for the runner at second base. Did not allow a hit. Walked one, struck out one, and throwing 26 pitches. But he gives way to Hobie Milner, who will try to keep this a 1-0 game. As Milner comes on for the 46th time this year. 1-2 record, an ERA of 2.31. Walked 14, struck out 41, 46 and 2/3 innings. He will face Colt Keith with 2 outs here in the 7th, trying to keep it a 1-0 game. If you're looking ahead to the Rangers' 7th inning, bottom of the 7th, it's going to be 3, 4, and 5 in the lineup. Simeon, Garcia, and Higashioka. Question is it going to be against Skubal? He's only at 84 pitches. So Milner comes on, the 3rd Ranger pitcher of the night. And we'll try and set down Keith and keep this a 1-0 game. And the first pitch from Milner to Keith. Here it comes. Strike one down the middle. Lefty against lefty here. As Milner, strike two right down the middle to Keith, and he's in an 0-2 hole. Here comes the 0-2 pitch. Down low, 1-2. One-two from Milner to Keith, down the middle, strike three. Milner strikes out Keith. Tigers finished in the 7th. They strand a runner at second. It's going to be 3-4-5. Simeon, Garcia, Higashioka coming up in the bottom of the 7th. Still a 1-0 Tigers lead. Skubal so far in this game for Detroit, he's gone 6 innings, only given up the 2 hits, and he struck out 9. Quality start once again for Skubal as he can pick up win number 11. 84 pitches so far. And at the moment, it appears that Skubal is going to come back out for the 7th inning. If you're the Tigers, you would have liked to have given Skubal a little bit more insurance. So far, that run in the second has held up to this point. Against a Rangers lineup, this is not an explosive offensive team. They have had their offensive woes here and have gotten shut out tonight. As we are going to set to go here in the bottom of the 7th inning, Skubal is going to be back out there. As he will face Semien to lead it off. 0 for 2. He is one of 9 strikeout victims against Skubal in this game. As the Tigers look to salvage the final game here in Arlington as they have lost the first 2 to the Rangers. So Skubal to work here in the bottom of the 7th to Marcus Semien. And the first pitch set to come here in the bottom of the 7th. Again, plan on being back with you on this stream Tuesday night for the game between the Red Sox and the Phillies. That's a tentative plan at this point. Hopefully be able to be back on for that one. So here we go, bottom of the 7th. Skubal looking for, he's at 9 strikeouts right now. He's looking to reach the 10 strikeout mark for the 7th time this year. Semien fouls off the first pitch, strike 1. Oh, 1 pitch from Skubal to Semien. Swing and a miss. It's quickly 0-2. Oh, 2 on the way upstairs, 1-2. Semien looks on and gets the 1-2 pitch from Skubal. Here it comes. Foul back. Semien stays alive. Another 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, and that's another double-digit strikeout night for Semien. 7th time this year he has reached at least 10 strikeouts in a game. .163 strikeouts on the season now for Skubal. And it brings up Garcia. He has struck out both of his previous plate appearances tonight against Semien. And that's ball one. One-zero pitch, misses, 2-0. Skubal now at 91 pitches on the night. And here comes the 2-0. Swing and a miss. 2-1. Skubal looks on and delivers the 2-1 pitch to Garcia. Swing and a miss again, 2-2. Higashioka on deck for Texas. And Skubal's 2-2 pitch. Ripped into left field. That's a base hit. That's going to roll all the way to the wall. It's going to be a one-out double here in the bottom of the 7th for Garcia, and that's the first Ranger other than Corey Seager to record a hit against Skubal tonight. And the Rangers have the tying run in scoring position with 1 out. Well, the pitch that got a little bit too much of the plate, and Garcia made Skubal pay there by sending that one into left. And the Rangers have the tying run on at second with 1 out. Here's Higashioka. That pitch gets away from the catcher, but not far enough to advance Garcia. Ball 1. Skubal's 1-0 pitch to Higashioka on the way. Outside, 2-0. Two-zero pitch on the way. Into center. That's going to be a base hit. Garcia had to hold up to see if the shortstop was going to catch that, so he can only get to third. But the tying run is now at third for the Rangers, and they now have the go-ahead run on at first. And the third time through the order, it looks like the Rangers might finally have been able to figure out Skubal as back-to-back hits. Brings up the catcher, Heim. And let's see if this will get the Tigers bullpen busy now. As Heim is set to be the batter. Pitching coach Chris Fetter out to have a word with Skubal. Bullpen is starting to loosen for Detroit. Tyler Holton warming up in the Tiger bullpen. Jonah Heim steps up for the Rangers. 0 for 2 tonight against Skubal, but has the tying run 90 feet away. as the crowd starts to make some noise at Globe Life Field. And here's the pitch. Down low, ball one. Skubal looks on and delivers the 1-0 to Heim. Fouled away, 1-1. So a runner at third, a sacrifice fly can tie the game. Base hit will tie the game. Vice versa, a double play can get the Tigers out of the inning. And here's the 1-1. Check swing foul, and Heim is now down 1-2. As that was pitch number 100 on the night from Skubal. Heim tried to hold up, but just fouled it off the very tip of the bat. Heim steps back in. Skubal gets the sign and delivers the 1-2 pitch. Instead, a look back to first base. One-two pitch once again, fouled away. Garcia, the runner at third. Higashioka, the runner at first. And here comes the 1-2. Fouled back again. One-two pitch. Went around and Heim strikes out. Or does he? The home plate umpire. Home plate umpire is calling that a foul ball. And that is the correct call on the. Catcher Dingler claiming he held onto the ball, but he did not. That hit the dirt. Here comes another 1-2 pitch. And another foul that will get out of play. I'm doing a great job here hanging in on this battle with Skubal. We are set for another 1-2 pitch from Skubal to Heim. Pitch number 8 of the at-bat. Here it is. Swing and a miss. This time he gets Heim. Got him to chase one down low, and that's strikeout number 11 for Skubal. 2 down in the 7th. And the batter will be Freeman, and that's going to be it for Skubal as A.J. Hinch comes out of the dugout. But another wonderful performance for Skubal as he goes 6 2/3, but is going to give way to the bullpen. And the bullpen has been a little bit of an issue for the Tigers here recently. They're wanting to hold on to this 1-0 lead and get Skubal his 11th victory of the year. Skubal will be lifted. I believe it's going to be Tyler Holton entering the game for the Tigers. Just another masterful performance by Skubal, as he has done so many times this year. The Tigers' bullpen since the beginning of June has had an ERA up near the 5 mark. So once you get into the bullpen, that has been a little bit of an issue for the Tigers. And it is going to be Holton coming on to pitch for the Tigers. Be his 42nd appearance of the season, 4-3 record, 3.67 ERA. Walked 8 and struck out 42 in 49 innings this year. Wanting to keep this a 1-0 game, he inherits runners at the corners with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 7th. And Freeman will be the batter. Holton's pitch to Freeman. Freeman could not hold up. Strike 1. Oh, 1 pitch. Foul back. Freeman's in an 0-2 hole. Looking ahead to the Tigers' 8th inning, it's going to be Torres, Green, and Torkelson, the meat of the order. The 0-2 pitch here misses low, 1-2. Skubal stands to win the game if the Tigers can hang on to this lead. Taking second base on that last pitch was Higashioka. So now the Rangers have 2 in scoring position with 2 outs. And that pitch gets away from the catcher. Garcia scores the tying run, and the Rangers tie it up. As the pitch got away from the catcher Dingler, Garcia comes in to score, and we are tied at 1. So Skubal's going to end up getting a no decision tonight. And the Tigers' inability to add some insurance for Skubal will cost them a win tonight. Higashioka advanced to 3rd on that, as well as Garcia's coming in to score. So now the go-ahead run is at 3rd for Texas with 2 outs. And here comes the 2-2 pitch. Ground ball to short. Throw over to first in time, and the inning is over. But the Rangers tie it up. It'll be Torres, Green, and Torkelson in the 8th for the Tigers. We are now 1-1. As the wild pitch by Holton cost the Tigers the lead and cost Skubal a win. And let's see if we see Milner back out for the 8th for the Rangers. He only threw 4 pitches to get out of the top of the 7th. So the meat of the Tigers' order, Torres, Green, and Torkelson due up here in the top of the 8th inning. And a brand new ball game here, 1-1, as we head to the top half of the 8th inning. Final game of this 3-game set right after the All-Star break. Rangers looking for the sweep of the 3-game series here. And Milner is not going to be out here for the 8th inning to pitch for the Rangers. It is going to be Chris Martin coming on for the Rangers. 39th appearance for Martin. Record of 1-5, 2.14 ERA, 6 walks and 35 strikeouts, 33 2/3 innings. He will try to keep this a 1-1 game. Again, he has to face the meat of the Tigers' order here in the top of the 8th inning. Torres leads it off. He is 2 for 2 tonight. The wild pitch by Holton in the bottom of the 7th has tied this game at 1. Heading into the 8th inning. First pitch swinging by Torres. That hit the mound. Tough play and no play. That ball goes all the way into foul territory on the third base side. Thought Torres may have had a chance to go to second there, but he'll hold it first with the infield single, and the Tigers have the leadoff man on here in the 8th. Brings up Riley Green. So Torres has reached base all 4 times tonight. And the Tigers have the go-ahead run on here at first, here in the 8th, and Riley Green takes ball 1. Torkelson on deck. Riley Green tonight is 0 for 3 and takes strike 1. Here comes the 1-1 pitch from Martin to Riley Green. Jammed him. That's going to be off the shortstop again. They go to second too late, and the Tigers have the first 2 on here in the 8th. With a couple plays here to Seager, but has been unable to make either play, and the Tigers in business here in the 8th. Two infield singles to start off the top of the 8th inning. Brings up Spencer Torkelson now. Torkelson has an 0 for 2 night going. He has reached on a walk and takes slow here for ball 1. One-0 pitch from Martin to Torkelson. Strike. Ball and a strike. Defensive change here in the field to tell you about for Texas, which I'll tell you about after this pitch. And that hits the outside corner for strike 2. New third baseman into the game for the Rangers, replacing Freeman at third base. As the pitch misses 2-2. Let's see who that new third baseman is for Texas. And here's the 2-2 pitch, fouled away. Smith is the new third baseman for Texas at third base, replacing Freeman. Josh Smith is on at third base. Another 2-2 pitch on the way to Torkelson from Martin. Here it comes. Swing and a miss. Strike three. A big strikeout for Martin. That's the first out here in the eighth. One away, and it'll bring up Perez, who scored the lone run of the game for the Tigers back in the second inning. And strike one right down the middle. Runners at first and second, one out for the Tigers in a 1-1 game in the eighth. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Up high, 1-1. Martin looks and delivers the 1-1 pitch to Perez. Here it is. Down low, 2-1. Martin delivers the 2-1 pitch to Perez. Fouled away, and it's now 2-2. Tigers now just 1 for 8 tonight with runners in scoring position. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Outside, full count. Crowd coming alive, and here comes the 3-2 payoff pitch. In the air, left field. Third baseman back there calling. The catch is made by the new third baseman Smith for out number 2. 2 down in the inning, and it'll bring up Vierling now. Vierling hitless in 3 attempts tonight. Tigers got the first 2 on here in the top of the 8th inning, but now with 2 outs, they are still at first and second. Vierling fouls it off for strike 1. Torres, the runner at second. Green, the runner at first. Oh, 1 pitch on the way. To Vierling from Martin. Up misses high. Ball 1. Looking ahead to the Rangers' 8th inning. It's going to be 8, 9, and 1 in the order. Foscue, Duran, and Langford. Hoping to still be tied. Pitch 1-1 down the middle, 1-2. And now Martin a strike away from getting out of this. As the crowd at Globe Life Field comes to their feet. Martin looks, and the 1-2 pitch from Veerling on the way. Up high, 2-2. Two-two pitch from Martin to Veerling. Here it comes. Up high, and another full count. So the runners will be off on this pitch. Here comes the payoff pitch. Runners go. Fouled away. Veerling staying alive. This will be the 8th pitch of the at-bat. 7th pitch of the at-bat. Veerling steps in, and the 3-2 payoff from Martin. Up the middle, base hit. Here comes one. Tigers take the lead here in the 8th inning on a 2-run single by Veerling. 3-1 Detroit. Veerling comes through here in the 8th inning. Torres scores from second, and I'm sorry, Green held at third. I thought for sure he was going to come in. So the Tigers lead it 2-1 here in the 8th. And it looks like Martin got injured on that, and he's going to have to come out of this game as he's hobbling off the field. So Martin walking off with the training staff. But Veerling comes through for the Tigers here in the 8th inning. Don't know what happened to Martin here, but on that last pitch, on the Veerling hit, he came up hobbling off the mound, rubbing his left knee. Don't know if he pulled it on that pitch or what happened there, but he's got to come out of this game. And the new Ranger pitcher coming into the game is going to be Caleb Bauschle. Bauschle will be making his 16th appearance of the season. 5 walks, 29 strikeouts in 30 1/3 innings, 5.04 ERA. Just trying to keep this game where it is, 2-1 Detroit. As Veerling has put the Tigers ahead 2-1 here in the top of the 8th inning with an RBI single that brought in Gleyber Torres for the go-ahead run. Riley Green is at third, and Veerling aboard at first. The batter is going to be Dingler once play resumes here after the pitching change. Bauschle, the 5th Ranger pitcher of the night. Again, Martin had to leave the game. The last pitchers, he came up hobbling after that last pitch. Tweaked his left knee. Somehow that's what he was holding. before the training staff came out and lifted him from the game. Caleb Bouchley comes in to try and hold this to where it is, a 2-1 game. Tigers got a run in the top of the second on an RBI by McKinstry that brought in Perez. Rangers tied it in the bottom of the seventh on a wild pitch that scored Garcia before the Tigers have taken the lead back here in the eighth inning on that last RBI single by Vierling that brought in Gleyber Torres. The batter for the Tigers now is the catcher, Dingler. As he will be facing Bouchley on the mound for the Rangers. Here we go. Dingler 2 for 2 on the night. The first pitch of the game from Bouchley. Inside, ball one. Dingler, a double and a single. And here comes the 1-0. Strike. Again, look into the Rangers' eighth inning. It's going to be 8, 9, and 1 in the order. Foscue, Duran, and Langford needing a run, at least. And they have 6 outs left to do so. Here's the 1-1. Outside, 2-1. Bouchley looks on and brings the 2-1 pitch. Strike. Counts now even 2-2 to Dingler. Bouchley's 2-2 pitch to Dingler. Here it comes. Swing and a miss, strike 3, and that'll end the inning. But the Tigers take the lead on the Vierling RBI as we go to the bottom of the eighth. It's the Tigers 2 and the Rangers 1. Foscue, Duran, and Langford due up in the bottom of the eighth for Texas. See if we see Holton back out there for the Tigers here at the bottom of the eighth inning. Yeah, mentioned early after this series is over, which the Tigers look to salvage the finale here as they're trying to snap their 6-game losing streak here tonight. Tigers will head to Pittsburgh for a series with the Pirates beginning tomorrow night. Rangers will stay at home hosting the A's in an AL West showdown. That begins tomorrow night, that series. As the Rangers able to get over 500 with that win last night over the Tigers. As the Rangers right there in the wild card picture, they currently sit third in the American League West, but right there in the wild card picture. Tigers have a big series coming up this coming weekend. After the series with the Pirates, they return home for the first time after the All-Star break, host the first place Toronto Blue Jays for a 3-game weekend series this weekend in Detroit. Rangers continue on this long after the All-Star break homestand as they will be at home again over the weekend hosting the Atlanta Braves for 3 after their series with the A's. But here we get set to go to the bottom of the 8th inning. Tigers lead the Rangers 2-1. Holton is back out there for the Tigers in the bottom of the 8th. As he will face Foscue to lead off the bottom of the 8th for Texas. Foscue is 0 for 2 against Skubal. He sees Holton for the first time and takes ball 1. That pitch misses down low, 1-1. Here's the 1-1. Popped up. Foul territory. Is it playable? It is not, as that reaches the seats, 1-2. Well, the Texas Rangers looking to get back to postseason play this year after that miraculous postseason run back in 2023 that brought them their first World Series championship. And here's the 1-2 pitch on Foscue, fouls it off. The Tigers look to get back to postseason play. They have not made the World Series in 13 years. Last time in 2012, have not won the World Series in 41 years, 1984. These two teams with big postseason aspirations and deep postseason aspirations. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Just missed low, 2-2. Holton was hoping for the call there, but didn't get it. 2-2 pitch once again. Foscue swinging a miss, strike 3. Holton with a strikeout. There's one out here in the 8th. Brings up Duran. 0 for 2. He struck out both times against Skubal. Duran hits it foul, out of play, strike 1. A nice grab there by the fan. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. Up high, 1-1. One pitch. Strike 2, 1-2. Top of the order, Langford on deck for Texas. So the Rangers are going to get the meat of the order up one more time here tonight. Holton looks on to Duran and will bring the 1-2 pitch. Up high, 2-2. Two on the way, swing and a miss. Back-to-back strikeouts by Holton here in the 8th inning. 2 down, and we're to the top of the order in Langford. Langford on the night is 0 for 3, and Holton will depart. For the Tigers on the mound. And we will see our third Tigers pitcher of the night. And the new pitcher is going to be, it appears, Will Vest is coming into the game for the Tigers. Will Vest is the new Tigers pitcher, making his 41st appearance of the year. 5-1 record on the season. 2.3 ERA, 15 walks, 48 strikeouts in 43 innings. "15 saves on the season. They're bringing him in now for a 4-out save tonight. Looking for save number 16. Well, when you're mired in a 6-game losing streak, you haven't got to bring on your closer much. So A.J. Hinch bringing him on now to try and record a 4-out save. And he will face the top of the order, Langford. So A.J. Hinch bringing on the closer here with 2 outs in the 8th inning. Vest brings swing and a miss. He was bringing it there, 97 on the fastball. Here comes the 0-1 pitch on the outside corner, strike 2. Oh-2 pitch. Boy, good morning, good afternoon, and good night on that at bat. Texas done in the 8th inning. We go to the 9th. Tigers 2, Rangers 1. Looking ahead to the Tigers here in the top of the 9th inning. It's going to be McKinstry, Sweeney, and then the top of the order, Keith. We'll see if Bauschle will stay in the game for Texas on the mound. He only threw 5 pitches to get out of the top of the 8th inning. So the Tigers with a 2-1 lead here in the 9th inning, looking to add a little bit of insurance, as we will see the meat of the Rangers' order up in the bottom of the 9th inning. The Tigers may not feel comfortable with just that 1-run lead, with Seager, Simeon, and Garcia due up in the bottom of the 9th for Texas. McKinstry leads it off here in the 9th inning for the Tigers. He's 1 for 2. He drove in the run back in the 2nd inning that scored Perez. That run held up until the bottom of the 7th inning when the Rangers tied it on the wild pitch, before the Tigers took the lead back in the 8th on the RBI by Vierling. And that's where we stand now. 2-1, top of the ninth. Bouchley back out there, and ball one to McKinstry. One-zero pitch at the knee, strike one. McKinstry's also walked on the night, so he's reached base twice tonight against Rangers pitching. That one just missed the outside corner, 2-1. Bouchley looks on and delivers the 2-1 pitch. Outside, 3-1. Three-one pitch on the way. Fouled away. Full count now. Bouchley looking on. McKinstry receives the 3-2 payoff pitch. That's in the air to center field, but right at the center fielder. That's Langford for the first out in the ninth. One down in the Rangers' ninth inning, and it'll bring up Sweeney. Sweeney came in as a defensive replacement for Baez earlier in the game. Here's the pitch to Sweeney. Fouled away, out of play, strike one. Oh, 1 is fouled back, and Sweeney now in an 0-2 hole. Bouchley is the fifth Rangers pitcher tonight. Tigers have sent 3 pitchers. Neither starter will factor in the decision tonight. Here's the 0-2 pitch, inside, 1-2. Right now, Holton is the pitcher of record for the Tigers. He would get the win. Martin would suffer the loss for the Rangers if this holds. 1-2 pitch misses down low. 2-2 now. The count to Sweeney. Bouchley looks on and delivers the 2-2 pitch to Sweeney. Inside corner, strike 3. Sweeney didn't like that call. But it looked like a pretty good call, as that looked like it did hit the corner. 2 outs in the ninth. That's a good pitch. Looking at the replay. Two down in the inning, and it'll bring up Keith now. Keith rips it down the right field line, but foul. Strike 1. Keith came on as a pinch hitter for Jones and then stayed on in the DH spot. Again, Seager, Simeon, and Garcia, the meat of the Rangers order, due up in the bottom of the ninth. As Keith takes outside here for ball 1. Tigers would like to get some insurance here with those 3 coming up in the bottom of the inning. Here's the 1-1. Popped foul, back and out of play, 1-2. Two great managers in the game here. A.J. Hinch for the Tigers, Bruce Bochy for the Rangers. Having their teams right in the postseason picture right now as the 1-2 pitch misses inside, 2-2. Here comes the 2-2. Down low, and the count runs full now, 3-2. The 3-2 payoff pitch to Keith from Bauschle. Ball 4, and a 2-out walk keeps the inning alive for the Tigers. As Gleyber Torres now steps up. Torres is 3 for 3 and has reached base all 4 times tonight. Singled 3 times and has reached on a walk. And the throw over to first from Bauschle. Keith dives back in. Keith again leads from first base. And Bauschle brings the pitch to Torres. Ball 1. Torres scored the go-ahead run for the Tigers last inning on the RBI by Bierling. Torres pops it up. In foul territory, the first baseman, Vasquez calls, makes the catch. Tigers finished in the top of the 9th. Seager, Simeon, and Garcia, the meat of the Rangers' order, due up in the bottom of the 9th. They need a run to tie this thing. It's 2-1 Detroit. As we head to the bottom of the 9th. Again, the sports stories from around today. Scott Scheffler winning the Open Championship by 4 shots. That's Scheffler's second major this season and third major of his career. He is just now the U.S. Open title short from the career Grand Slam. A 4-shot win over there at the Open Championship, which was played in Northern Ireland this year. Golf playoffs set to begin here in about a little over a month. NFL training camps getting underway this week. So we'll start to get a dose of football in the first exhibition game in the NFL coming up next Thursday night, that annual Hall of Fame game there in Canton. Chargers and Lions will be playing that game. Antonio Gates. Jared Allen, Eric Allen, and Sterling Sharp, the 4 NFL inductees into the Hall of Fame this year. As I mentioned earlier, I'm not quite sure what took so long for Sterling Sharp. He had an outstanding career in Green Bay. He should have been in the Hall of Fame long before now. But finally makes it. As football gets set to get underway fully here in a couple weeks. But here we go, bottom of the 9th here. 2-1 Tigers. Seager, Semien, and Garcia leading off. Seager steps up. He's 2 for 3. He starts with a ground ball to short on one hop, one pitch, one out in the bottom of the ninth. And it'll bring up Semien. Shortstop Sweeney was playing Seager towards center field there. Semien goes after the first pitch, sends it in the air to right field, barely having to move out there in right field. Is the right fielder Perez, and 2 pitches, 2 outs, and the Tigers an out away from snapping their season-long 6-game losing streak. It's up to Garcia to keep the game alive for Texas. Vest has come in the game and has thrown 5 pitches and has gotten 3 outs. Garcia takes strike 1, but needs 1 more out here to finish off a Tigers win. Garcia has doubled in his 3 attempts tonight. In his 3 at-bats tonight. There's a head here, 2-0. Or 1-1, rather. So that was called a strike. One pitch. Check swing foul, and now the Rangers are down to their final strike. A 1-ball, 2-strike count on Garcia. Garcia takes time in the box. Veston out away from his 16th save of the year. And here's the 1-2. Swing and a miss, and that'll do it. Vest with save number 16. The Tigers snap their 6-game losing streak as they win it 2-1 to salvage the finale in Arlington over the Rangers. Tigers improved to 60-40 on the season. Rangers fall back to 500 as they're now 50-50 on the season. As A.J. Hinch and the Tigers look to get some momentum going as they snap that losing streak in Arlington tonight and try to start a winning streak as they head to Pittsburgh now for a series against the Pirates. Vest comes on and gets a 4-out save, his 16th of the year. Final numbers in this one, the tie for the Tigers, 2 runs, 9 hits, no errors. Rangers, 1 run, 4 hits, no errors. Tyler Holton will get the win. He's now 5-3 on the year. Martin will suffer the loss for Texas. Not only is he going to get the loss, he also left with the injury. Martin falls to 1-6 on the season for Texas. Vest gets save number 16 on the season as the Tigers win it 2-1. To salvage the finale of this 3-game series. Again, they head to Pittsburgh for a series. The Rangers stay at home for an AL West showdown against the A's. That gets underway tomorrow night. So the Tigers win it 2-1. Again, hope to be back with you on my stream here Tuesday night. Red Sox and Phillies game. That is the tentative plan anyway. Back with you Tuesday night here. Again, my name is John, Sports Bonanza John, my YouTube page. Sport Guru on Twitch tonight as well. If you like my content, appreciate a like and subscribe. Appreciate you joining me on this Sunday evening, and more baseball coming up on this page as we continue on this run here through baseball season. Thanks for joining me again, everybody.